Hey guys, welcome back. Excuse me. Today I have a little review for you today because, well, it's a little knife. But it's kind of a cool knife. So my buddy Dave from from a Patreon group I'm in, who's out in Vegas, he sent this in along with a Hogue that I had done a review on a few days back. And yeah, this is a little guy. It's probably, I don't know, it's one of the smallest ones I've had on the channel, and it's probably by far the most inexpensive knife I've had on the channel. But that does not mean that it sucks, okay? I've had some inexpensive watches, the Casio FW or F91W, it's like $9. The Casio World Timers are like 15 and 20, and they're great. So you don't have to spend a lot on a watch to enjoy it, and you don't have to spend a lot on a knife to enjoy it either. So this is the Magnum by Boker Compact Rescue. This is the stainless Compact Rescue knife, I think officially is what it's called. And it is a little rescue knife. So let's jump into the specs. It's 3.5 inches closed, and that's from the edge of the scale to the tip of the hardened glass breaker. And it's a functional glass breaker. I mean, I have not tested this one, but I have done some glass breaking before, and this will definitely get the job done. And since we're zoomed in here, it also has a seatbelt cutter, which, is not a terrible thing to have. When I was off-road racing, we were required to have a seatbelt cutter within reach of both the driver and the co-driver. So we had two of them in the vehicles I was racing in, so that me as a co-driver, I could grab one for me or for my driver. And it was situated the second one was situated where I could get to it if I was the driver, or the normal driver could get to it as well. And thank God, even though we might have rolled a couple times in a couple different vehicles, not my fault, but we did not need to use the seatbelt cutters. There was another incident previously where, it was absolutely needed. They didn't have seatbelt cutters at that point. A spectator ran up with a knife of some sort, cut the driver's harness off, drug him out of the car right before it caught on fire. So having a seatbelt cutter handy is not a terrible idea. So let's get back to the knife. It's 3.5 inches closed, 5.5 inches open. The blade length from the edge of the scale to the tip is 1.99 inches, and the edge is 2.02. This is 440A stainless steel. It's rather sharp on this very small, about half of it is a flat blade, and half is a very aggressive serrations. So this would also cut the seatbelt, or could cut open jeans for first aid or whatnot. And so we'll just kind of run around the knife since we're already zoomed in here. Here we are. So the blade thickness is 0.112. It weighs in at 3.1 ounce. Overall thickness is 0.432. And the action is okay. It's much better now that I took it apart and cleaned it up, lubed it up just a little bit, and it's much smoother now than it was before. Now, this is not something that is super easy to flick open. You have to kind of hold it in the right spot. It finger flicks a little bit easier with some wrist. But again, this is not a knife that you're going to use on a daily basis, maybe. I mean, you could, realistically, for the price of this is around $20, $25 you can find them. And do you need more of a knife than this? Like, really? Do we need a knife like this, the Curtis Cruise, at substantially more, $1,000-ish? Do we need this? Does this cut any better? Does it open boxes any faster than this would open a box? No. Why do we need an expensive knife? Do we need a Hellraiser? Like, what more does this get you than this? It might be cooler. It might open a little faster. It might fit a little bit better in the hand. But do we need the super smooth action? Do we need, like, again, all we're doing is cutting open a box. So don't let a $20, $25 knife that's decent quality, as this is, because there's no blade play. It's super solid. It's a liner lock. It's got a serrated edge, so you can cut open anything you need to. It has a seatbelt cutter. It has a pocket clip. It has a glass break. I mean, really, this is not bad for what it is. This would be a great tool to have in your car in the center console. Just bouncing around in there, or maybe make up a little bit of a mount type of a thing so that it's just there in your center console that you could reach and grab, because it's useful. Again, it's a little bit goofy to flick open because you got to kind of hold it just right because it's tiny. It disappears, right? So, but again, this isn't your quick draw, knife. This has a specific purpose, and there's nothing wrong with having this floating around in your center console, or just clipped to your visor maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's pretty cool. Am I going to rush out and buy one? I don't know. Maybe. I've done dumber things. Sometimes I just do rush out and buy things. But it's roughly the same size as the Sharpie. So I won't do all the size comparisons. I mean, you get it. It's a small knife. But it actually feels pretty good in the hand for what you're going to use it for. If you're going to cut open a box, this is going to do it just great. If you were going to cut open this background on my table, it would do it and scratch up the table underneath, no problem. If you needed to cut some cardboard, it would do that. If you needed to cut some small branches, it would probably do that because these serrations are very aggressive. And it will cut a seatbelt. It will cut another thing you can use seatbelt cutters and stuff for usually is to cut open somebody's shoes or boots if they're in an accident and you need to, for first aid, get that boot off. I've seen people cut the side of the boot, cut open a pair of jeans. You could just hook this in there and just slide up the jeans to expose a wound to put on a tourniquet or, whatever. I mean, sometimes there's a lot more use in something like this than there is in the Spyderco Delica. Yeah, you could do all those things with this too, but you wouldn't get through the seatbelt as fast as with something designed for a seatbelt. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool knife. I'm really glad that Dave sent this in for me to check out because, again, I'm not all about the high-end expensive stuff. I'm about showing off what's out there in the knife world. Whether it's $20, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $200 and something dollars, $500 Chris Reeve, I enjoy the hobby, everything about it, everything at every price range. I think I have and own something in most every price range in the knife community right now. Could I get some more expensive stuff? Absolutely. Will I at some point? Yeah, there's a couple I'm looking at that one day might grail knives. But for 20 bucks, can you really go wrong? I'll leave that up to you guys. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks, Dave, for sending this in. It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad I could get it worked out a little bit for you by taking it apart, cleaning it up, and putting it back together for you. So I will get these boxed up and shipped back out to you, my friend. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next one.